All right, so the next thing we need to do, obviously, is rig the character. So, like I said, we're just going to do parenting. So it should be relatively simple. I'm going to make this the most upper parent. So I'm going to take this one, and then this one, and lastly this. And when I hit P, both of these elements will now be parented to this element, okay? I'll do the same thing with the legs. I'm select this one, hold shift, this one, and the last thing, that one, is what this will get parented to, okay? Notice that everything highlights when you do that. So I'm select this one, lastly this, and P, okay? So now when I move this, it'll move the rest of it. All right, now the other thing I want to do is this. If you look, we'll start with this one. If I go to rotate this, it rotates from the center. That's where the pivot is, right? That's where you can see the manipulator. I need to move it so the pivot's here, okay? So I'm going to hold D for move pivot, okay? You see the pivot moving? And then I'm going to grab this and pull that in. And then when I let go of D, that is now where it pivots from. Do the same thing here. D. Okay. Select this one. D. Just going to kind of pull this up and over. Select this one. Same thing. Just kind of going in. And notice I'm selecting the arrows there, not other elements. Okay, select this one. Pull this up. Okay. All right, and now they pivot from a better location. Okay. It's not great rigging, but it should work. Now we can also scale this if we need to, which we do. The other thing I want to do is this. You may have noticed I'm accidentally clicking on this, on these things, and I only want to really be able to select him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on just one of these, doesn't matter what element of the set, and if I push the up arrow, it'll move up in the hierarchy until, and I'll just keep pushing it up until it says set GRP, okay? And I'm just going to go over here, and I'm on my channel box here, okay? So if that's not up, just, it's this guy right here. And I'm going to add a new layer by clicking on this ball and paper, and that's going to make a new layer out of the current selection. I'll double click on this and just rename it set and hit save. All right. Now, this will allow me to turn visibility off, okay? It'll also allow me to, if I click on this one, it'll make a template, which makes it so I can't click on it, but I can see a wireframe. Click on it again, it'll make it reference, which means I can see it, but I can't click on it, and I click it one more time, and it's back to normal. So I'm just going to go ahead and go reference. Now I don't have to worry about accidentally selecting this, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my little ant guy and put him over by this hill. Okay, I'm going to scale it down. And move him over onto the thing here. It's way too big for this. But whatever. Okay. And so we're going to call that good for rigging. And now basically what I need to do is just animation. So we're going to make it really simple. I'm just going to have him walk up to the top of this and wave. I think that's pretty easy. So I got him at the base here. Make sure he's on the ground. All right. I'm going to click on this so I can see. Yeah. Okay. And I'm on frame 1, so I'm gonna hit S. And then I'm gonna say it's gonna take him, I don't know, we'll say 2 seconds, right? So I'm gonna go, if I'm running at 24 frames per second, that means at 48. So I'm just gonna take him and I'll put him up here. Okay, so I'm gonna F to frame to make it a little bit easier. Make sure he's up on here. Okay. And I'm also going to E to rotate him, so he's kind of on there. All right, and then I'll hit S to key. And then what you'll see is that if I hit play, it'll go from this position at frame 1 to up there at frame 48. Okay? Great. Now, in order to make that look a little bit better, probably the leg should move, right? So I am going to do this in a very sloppy sort of fashion. All right. So I'll just on frame 1 hit S, and then I'm going to go to frame 6, and I'm going to just rotate this one forward, rotate this one back. Okay, S, S, and then we'll just rotate this one back a little bit. Then I'll go another 6 to frame 12. I'm going to rotate this one back, rotate this one forward a little bit, and rotate this one forward. S, S, S. So it looks like this. And then I'll go another 6. So go to 18. This one will go forward. This one will go back. This one will go back. Okay. And so on and so forth until I get to where I need. So there. This one here. This one here. All right, and then go to 30. Wait, what was I? 24. So 6 would be what? 30. Yada yada yada. Okay. And I'm just gonna pause it. And I'll do the rest of the legs. There's no sense in you watching me do this. All right, so I animated both sides of the legs, and you can see them. They're walking, and it's great. Okay, so I'm gonna say he's gonna walk up. Like so. I'm going to even do this a little bit. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to have his head turn up at frame 12. So it looks like he's looking up. And I'll go to frame S here, and I'll go to frame 12 for the legs, or the butt, and I'll have that kind of point down. Okay. So that way it looks like. And then at frame 48, I'll have his butt kind of go over like this. I'm going to have his head like this. Okay. All right. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to have him kind of turn to the camera and wave. Okay. So, good. So let's do that. So I'm going to have his body in general. I'll have it take 12 frames. So we have 48. So we'll go to 60. I'm going to have it kind of turn like this a little bit. That's the key. And then I'm going to have his butt turn maybe towards the camera, right, like that. And I'm going to have his head also turn towards the camera, like this. And then I'm going to have his arm, just the one here, come up like it's going to wave. So now he's going to go like that. And then every 6 frames, I'm just going to have it wave back and forth. So we'll just have it go down, and go another, and up, and then down, and up, and we'll do one more, down. Okay. Alright, so this is the greatest animation known to man. Good. Yay! So he waves, and that's good. Okay. So we're going to end it right at 90. I'm going to put 90 in here. So that's the last frame. Okay. And good. So the next thing to do, because we're going to say the animation's done, we're going to go ahead and save this again. And I'm going to save this as my next version. Hit Control-Shift-S. Alright, that may for some reason didn't work, so we're going to go ahead and do File Save Scene As. And we're going to save this as version number 2. Same name, but version 2. Alright. Next thing to do is to light and render it. Okay? So we're going to do this in a real simple way. We're going to go to Windows, Settings Preferences, because we're going to render in what's called Mental Ray, but it's technically a plugin. So if this isn't already set up, we'll check. Windows, Settings Preferences, Plugin Manager. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. And then you'll see something that says Maya to MR. So Maya to Mental Ray. Make sure it says Loaded and Auto Load are both checked on. Okay? If they're already checked on, don't worry about it. But that's good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my render settings up here. And I'm going to switch which was this button right here, the claptrap with the cog. And I'm going to switch it from Maya Software to Mental Ray. Okay? And I'm going to go to Scene. And I'm going to go to Physical Sun and Sky. Hit Create. And then you can exit out of this for now. It's going to create a light. If for some reason you can't see it, just hit like 4. And then you'll see, oh, it's like this. It looks like what's it called? A quiver of arrows. Okay? It doesn't matter where it is because it's like the wind. It's just going to light from one direction to another. But it's meant to mimic the sun. So if I go completely 100% up and down, it's going to render Hang on a second. It's rendering in the other window, so I'll show you when I pop it back over. It's very slow. Come on. So it's rendering in the other window. I have two windows, or two monitors. Okay. So you can see it'll render it like it's noon, okay? But, and I'll just go ahead and click on this to save it. If I were to take this and make it real shallow, like this, like the sun's coming down, it's going to render it looking a little bit different. It's going to look a little more like dusk or dawn, basically. I'm just going to pause it while it renders it, and then I'll start it again when it's done. Yeah, my computer's kind of slow at rendering, so 30 seconds it says here. But basically you see it looks like, you know, dawn or dusk, okay? So basically, depending on the time of day you want to make is how you will position that light, okay? So it's real simple. This is like an easy one-click solution. So that'll do our lighting, and that's also sort of our rendering. So I'm just going to go like that, and I would do a bunch of tests, but I don't really care right now. I'm going to hit 6 back on, so I have all my stuff on here. So good. So that's going to be my lighting for my film. Okay. Now, the other thing I need to do is actually set up the renders. Okay. So to do that, it's that claptrap with the cog up here. This is actually all the settings. I just used it to automatically create this physical sun sky, but what I'm interested in now is actually common. So what I want you to do is that you're going to go to the common tab, and you're going to change this to, I don't know, Ant Movie. We'll call it Movie. And the image format we're going to choose is going to be a PNG. Okay, so portable network graphic. It's actually meant for the internet, but it's kind of a non-lossy-ish format, and it comes out decent. Now, the frame/animation extension, switch that to the bottom one here, the name_number.extension. So what that means is that it's going to call it Ant Movie. You can actually see it up here. It's going to call it Ant Movie _. So it's going to say the name. It's going to put an underscore. Then it's going to put the frame number, and then the extension, which is PNG. You can leave frame padding at 4. That's just how many zeros get placed in this. Well, how many spaces it goes across. Now, start frame, end frame. Obviously, we're going to start frame 1. Mine goes till 90. That's my last frame. So I'm going to make my end frame 90. Camera, we're just going to use perspective because that's just the camera I'm looking at. And presets, HD 540 is fine for now. It just means it's going to make it 960 by 540, which is, I guess they consider it the lowest of the HD resolutions, but it's not truly. It's like half HD. Good. And then we'll hit close. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this little ball here. And what that's do is it shows me my frame. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead, and this is what it's going to render. Okay? So we're going to go ahead, and I'm just going to kind of frame it the way I like it to look. And once I'm happy with that, once I think that looks all great and dandy, I'm just going to go to my rendering tab here, my menu set. And then I just go to render, and I hit batch render. And then what it's going to do is it's going to render out a PNG sequence. And you can see it says results rendering with mental ray. Now this is going to take a while, but that's basically it. That's kind of the sum of how you would make your animation. Very simply. Afterwards, we'd have to do is actually go through and take each one of these. It's going to make a whole series of just single images. You'd have to bring them into like After Effects or Premiere or some other nonlinear editor or compositing software and combine them in order to make it actually into a video. But this is still the best way to work. All right, that's it.